You know it's serious when Whoopi Goldberg isn't smiling. The lights are dimmer than usual, the chatter is gone, and there she sits, blinking rapidly, lips tight, hands trembling slightly as she grips the edge of the courtroom table. This isn't The View. This isn't scripted TV. This is real life, and it's unraveling faster than anyone at ABC ever imagined, because the woman staring her down from across the courtroom, it's none other than Carrie Underwood. Yes, that Carrie Underwood, the country music legend, Grammy winner, and now a media accountability warrior. This time, she didn't come with a microphone. She came with receipts and an $800 million defamation lawsuit aimed straight at Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and the very network that gave them their platform, ABC. It all began with a snide remark. It ended in court. And now Whoopi is breaking down, while Carrie calmly watches it all unfold. Buckle up. This isn't just a fight over words. It's a cultural reckoning. Smash that like button. Subscribe to Stay in the Loop, because what you're about to hear is going to change daytime TV forever. Let's dive in. Joy Behar kicked things off with that signature sneer of hers. "Carrie Underwood," she said, tossing her hands in the air like she was throwing.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Away trash is either clueless or complicit. The audience gave a mixed reaction. Some clapped, others gasped. But that didn't stop the panel. The rest of the hosts jumped in, each one taking their turn to pile on. Sunny Hostin, with her usual sharp edge, accused Carrie of being naive, suggesting she was a
Says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country?
aligning herself with dangerous political figures. Whoopi leaned in, a sly smile playing on her lips, and let out a scathing remark about Carrie's lack of awareness, framing it as a moral misstep. Sunny Hostin leaned forward, her eyes sharp as ever, and delivered her own punch. "Let's call it what it is," she said. "Carrie aligning herself with that administration. That's not unity. That's aligning with hate." And then came Whoopi Goldberg, with a smirk that screamed, "Watch me go viral." Whoopi leaned into the mic and said, "Oh, Carrie must think this is just another country song, sweetie. This isn't a love ballad, it's a political disaster." Laughter erupted from the studio audience. Even the stage crew chuckled. The segment rolled on, the panel shifted topics, and Carrie's name disappeared from the teleprompter. But backstage, in Carrie's world, the damage had been done. Carrie didn't respond the way most celebrities do. She didn't tweet out a sarcastic comment, she didn't hop on TikTok with tears in her eyes, and she didn't post a black and white selfie with a dramatic caption. What she did do was pick up the phone and dial her lawyers. According to sources close to Carrie, she was stunned by the personal attacks. This wasn't political critique. It was character assassination disguised as TV banter. It wasn't just what they said. It was how they said it. The smirks, the mockery, the setup. "Joy, I can't sing a lick, but I certainly wouldn't have said that. And if I were asked, it would be a hard no. Well, they wouldn't ask me." She was done letting it slide. Just weeks after that infamous episode aired, Carrie Underwood filed what quickly became one of the most talked-about lawsuits in recent television history. A jaw-dropping $800 million. The defendants, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and, yes, ABC itself. The accusation was clear-cut: defamation, strategic media bullying, and an orchestrated attempt to tear down a woman who simply sang a song at a political event. Her legal team? Ruthless. They came armed with evidence that would make any PR rep's stomach drop. They had the full transcript of the segment. They had behind-the-scenes production notes. They had internal emails with subject lines like, "Use Carrie to stir outrage." One producer allegedly wrote, "We need a spark tomorrow. Let Joy poke the patriotism angle. Whoopi can land the final jab." And just like that, it all began to unravel. Carrie's lawsuit revealed that this wasn't a slip of the tongue. It wasn't spontaneous outrage. It was planned, coordinated, packaged for ratings. And it cost Carrie. In the weeks following that segment, she lost a major endorsement deal with a health brand. A performance slot at an awards show was mysteriously pulled. Behind the scenes, there were whispers that Carrie had become too controversial. But instead of shrinking, Carrie stood taller. In her official statement to the press, she didn't mince words. This is not about party politics. This is about professional respect. It is unacceptable for any woman, regardless of her views, to be dragged, mocked, and targeted on live television for doing her job. The View? They didn't issue an apology. They didn't even acknowledge the lawsuit at first. They smirked. They joked. They underestimated Carrie. Now, they're not laughing. As the lawsuit gained steam, headlines exploded. Carrie Underwood sues The View for $800 million. View hosts under fire for targeted character attack. Inside the lawsuit that could change daytime TV forever. And Carrie? She stayed calm. She didn't jump into interviews or throw shade. She let the legal documents speak louder than any tweet ever could. The message was clear. This wasn't just about Carrie. This was about the culture, the cruelty, the careless power wielded by some of TV's biggest voices. And now that power was being challenged, one lawsuit at a time. Carrie Underwood will take the stage at Trump's inauguration, singing "America the Beautiful." She said to the Post, "I love our country, and I'm honored to have been asked to sing at the inauguration and to be a small part of this historic event. I am humbled to answer the call at a time when we must all come together in the spirit of unity and looking to the future." Well, that wasn't good enough for the tolerant left. Of course, they were outraged over Carrie being outed as a MAGA supporter. X was blowing up with jokes about how she should sing her hit song, "Before He Cheats." Some were calling for her to be boycotted and canceled. John Rich weighed in, saying, "There are several top-tier country artists who support Trump, and I wish they'd finally have the balls to come forward and be counted. Ain't nothing outlaw about keeping your mouth shut to appease the record label. Carrie Underwood is making you look like a bunch of boys. Is she talented? Graceful? A class act? Absolutely. And the left? They were everything that Carrie is not." The first day in court didn't just feel like a movie. It felt like the movie The High-Stakes Drama. Media frenzy outside the courthouse, camera flashes exploding like fireworks, and a line of spectators, wrapped around the block just hoping to catch a glimpse of what many are already calling the media trial of the decade. Carrie Underwood arrived first. No red carpet, no glamorous entourage, just a navy blue power suit, her blonde hair pulled into a sleek ponytail, and a quiet resolve that practically screamed, "I'm here to win." She didn't wave to reporters. She didn't smile for the cameras. She just walked, calm, cool, and with the kind of grace you'd expect from someone who's been dragged through the mud and come out cleaner than ever. Then came Whoopi Goldberg. The contrast was glaring. Draped in an oversized black coat and dark sunglasses, Whoopi stepped out of her vehicle with clenched lips and stiff posture. Gone was the breezy talk show queen. replaced by a woman staring down the barrel of a legal nightmare. Her trademark smirk? Nowhere in sight. Zero jokes, zero eye contact. Just tension. Inside the courtroom, the drama intensified. Carrie sat silently at the plaintiff's table, occasionally whispering to her attorneys. Whoopi, across the room, fidgeted nervously, avoiding glances, her fingers clenching the armrest like it was a life preserver. Carrie's legal team didn't waste a second. They kicked things off with a damning sequence of video clips. The jury watched as Joy Behar mocked Carrie's patriotism. Sunny Hostin sneered at her morality. And Whoopi? Oh, Whoopi laughed at her intelligence and faith. I get why she did it. I mean, right? It's country music. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't do it. Even though I can't sing, no, I would not. I would not normalize him. The jury cringed. The judge frowned. Then came the real bombshells. Emails, call logs, and internal memos straight from ABC staff. One email from a producer read, Carrie segment tomorrow. Let Joy push hard on patriotism. Whoopi can finish with something scathing. Another. She's sensitive. Hit the Trump note. Guaranteed fluster. The courtroom was already tense, but what came next was nuclear. A voice memo played aloud, crystal clear. Whoopi's voice recorded off-air during rehearsal. Let's stir the pot. I want this one rattled. She's not going to cry, but I bet she folds. The silence was deafening. Reporters scribbled notes like mad, and cameras outside started buzzing. Whoopi lowered her head, visibly shaken. Eyewitnesses. Say she whispered something to her attorney and buried her face in her hands. At one point, she appeared to be wiping away tears with a tissue. This wasn't just a PR crisis. This was career damage in real time. Carrie? She didn't flinch. She didn't need to speak. She let the facts speak for her. Her eyes never left the screen. She didn't smirk, didn't gloat. She just sat there like a woman who had finally been heard. Legal experts watching from home took to social media, calling it one of the most strategic court presentations they'd ever seen. It's not just a case, one tweeted, it's a cultural reckoning. And it was far from over. Country superstar. Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but now she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And while some of her fans aren't thrilled about it, plenty of them are. So let's put this in perspective. What do y'all think? Personally, I hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. Whether it was the Dixie Chicks criticizing George Bush, I didn't agree with it then. And I don't agree with it now. If you have a problem with Carrie Underwood, register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows, right? But I also think, from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning, so she's overnight going to become an icon of MAGA and the American right. She's probably going to make a lot of money off of it. So, I get why she did it. I mean, right? As the courtroom session closed, for the day, the real panic began back at ABC headquarters. Executives were losing their minds. Insiders leaked that emergency meetings had been happening every night since Carrie filed her lawsuit. But after day one in court, those meetings turned into full-blown crisis summits. One ABC staffer described it as DEF-CON 1. The leaked internal memo circulating online was titled Urgent, Managing the Carrie Fallout. And it didn't stop there. Advertisers were bailing. One major sponsor, reportedly worth over $20 million annually, sent a strongly worded letter to ABC expressing deep concern over recent developments. Others followed suit. Viewership began to dip. The show that once owned daytime TV was now a liability. Joy Behar, known for her defiant attitude, has reportedly expressed off-air regret. Sources close to her claim she's shocked at how badly this blew up. Sunny Hostin, with a legal background herself, has gone completely silent in media appearances, and word is she's lawyering up. But the person at the center of the storm? Whoopi. ABC is reportedly reviewing her contract. There's talk of suspension, even termination. Executives are scrambling to determine whether Whoopi is worth the risk. After all, she's not just the face of the show. She's now the face of an $800 million legal catastrophe. Some insiders whisper, it's not just about this case. It's about a pattern, a legacy of unchecked commentary, controversial takes, and on-air attacks. And Carrie, she isn't. Ewan stopping. She released another statement through her team. This is about every artist, every guest, and every viewer who's been publicly humiliated for entertainment. It ends now. The fallout isn't just corporate. It's cultural. Commentators are asking, has The View gone too far for too long? Is it time for daytime TV to be held to the same standards as everyone else? And most importantly, if Carrie Underwood wins this case, what happens next? Because this isn't just about restoring her reputation. It's about reshaping an entire industry. And Whoopi, she may have just taken her final seat at The View. Whoopi Goldberg is on thin ice to the point where they're actually coming out with a new promo for The View. You know, the show that we can't stand to watch because she does things like this, spitting when she says the president's name. Listen, take him seriously and take him literally. I don't think that we have to. I think it would be remiss of us to not say Joe Biden knows how to do this. He's quite good at this. But then, Trump? He tends to just... But can I mention one thing? Because Trump is out there calling. Did you say his name? I said his name. It was a trick, and it made me jump. But I'm just saying, Biden knows what not to do. Social media didn't just react. It detonated. Within minutes of the courtroom footage leaking, every platform was ablaze. Twitter threads were rolling like wildfire. TikTok creators were editing clips faster than they could post, and Instagram pages flooded with memes, reactions, and full-blown takedowns of The View. Hashtags like "But Carrie Claps Back," "View on Trial," "Sue Justice for Carrie," and "Media Accountability" weren't just trending. They were dominating the algorithm. Millions of people, many who weren't even fans of Carrie Underwood, suddenly had her back. One viral TikTok featured a split screen. On one side, Carrie walking calmly into court in her sleek navy suit, looking confident and focused. On the other, a tearful Whoopi Goldberg in court, visibly rattled. The audio overlay? A remix of Carrie's hit song, Blown Away, synced perfectly with the moment the courtroom went silent after her legal team played the off-air voice memo. So, what's that about? Could it be that they felt she was just too much? I mean, they were going to be streaming and needed to take this product forward, and, by the way, their streaming numbers are lousy. So they're thinking, okay, let's move away from linear television and put The View on the weekend and do entertainment instead of politics. But listen, over here on streaming, it's all about authenticity. You can talk about politics, you can talk about a lot of stuff. In fact, your crazy Whoopi, she might actually have a better following online than she does in traditional network environments. But they can't figure that out. Or maybe she's holding out for more money. I kind of wonder if she's in the middle of contract negotiations, and that's part of why she stopped spitting when she says the president's name. After all, he won. If you notice on that show, she's gotten extremely quiet. Now, she's sort of relying on Sunny Hostin to go on and on. Of course, Sunny Hostin has no use for Dogecoin or Elon Musk because, once again, they don't want to be exposed. Then came the memes. One image showed Carrie holding a microphone in one hand and a thick stack of court papers in the other. Her eyes, intense, blazing with the caption, "You messed with the wrong girl." One meme featured Carrie in full courtroom mode, her eyes locked on the screen, an unspoken message radiating from her. Another had Whoopi in her signature sunglasses with the text, "Said it on air, paid for it in court." Even comedians joined the frenzy. One late-night stand-up quipped, "Whoopi thought she was on The View. Turns out she was starring in Law and Order, Celebrity Unit." Podcast hosts, YouTube commentators, and legal analysts were quick to weigh in. Conservative media praised Carrie for finally punching back against left-wing TV elites. Progressive voices were split. Some tried defending The View, while others admitted they had crossed a line. And the funniest part? Carrie didn't say a single word online. No tweets, no Instagram stories, no interviews. She let the internet speak for her. Meanwhile, ABC was scrambling to regain control of a narrative that had already sprinted out the door and taken the world with it. This isn't just about Carrie Underwood. It's about something much bigger. It's about the quiet shift that's been brewing for years. The growing anger toward media personalities who use their platforms to mock, belittle, and destroy reputations in the name of entertainment. And now, the line between satire and slander isn't blurry anymore. Carrie is drawing it in thick red ink. She didn't storm out of the courtroom shouting, "Cancel culture." She didn't play the victim. She simply walked in, laid out the facts, and let the evidence speak. And the evidence? It was deafening. This lawsuit isn't just about a defamation claim. It's about holding the media accountable for its power, something very few people have dared to do and even fewer have succeeded at. If Carrie wins, it sets a precedent that could change television forever. Talk show hosts might actually have to watch what they say. Producers might think twice before scripting. Gotcha moments. And networks like ABC? They might realize that reputation isn't a punchline. It's a liability. Whoopi Goldberg may have built a brand on being bold and unfiltered, but this time, that boldness came with consequences. She thought she was hosting another spicy segment on The View. What she didn't expect was Carrie Underwood walking into court, not with a guitar, but with cold, hard proof.